and I hope it will work now. Eliot Higgins, thank you very much for your support when I was in Lugansk to find out this place where the book launcher video was really made. So it's for sure that they drove it over there, but what I would like to know, how can we know that this launcher was really used? That it's not any other vehicle which was driving by?
Well, there's several clues that links that video filmed in the Hanks to other videos filmed elsewhere in the area. You have the same low loader that's carrying the BUK missile launcher, the same paint job, the same shape, it's identical. The same truck cabin as well, it's white with a blue stripe. The owner of the truck actually said when he was interviewed that the paint job is unique to his truck in the area. Mm-hmm. So, the fact that that matches with what was seen in Torres and Donetsk and other areas is, a very, very strong indication it's the same BUK missile launcher. With a lot of this work, it's really thinking what makes logical sense. Would there be multiple identical trucks driving around with BUK missile launchers on the back? One that just happens to be missing one or two missiles from the back of it. So, with all the evidence there is, it seems to point, to it being the same one.
There is one photo showing a smoke tray in the sky coming from Pervomaisky. Do you think this photo is real?
I think so, yeah. We actually spoke to the photographer who sent us the original raw
You
file.
talked yourself?
Yeah, he sent us the raw files from his camera, the original ones, and the times that everything that's been said before, timed when MH17 was shot down. There's a difference between there's 3 photographs he shared with us. 2 of them show the smoke trail, taking about 7 seconds apart, because he took one photograph with the cables in the way and then he zoomed in and then he got the actual smoke again without the cables in it. What's also been useful is a Dutch blogger actually went out to that location and he was trying to disprove the pictures. He was saying he thought these pictures were fake, and he accidentally proved he accidentally proved they were real, because he managed to take a photograph of the cables that were in front of the balcony where the photograph was taken from. We know it was the balcony because when you actually look at the local area and other photographs of that area, you can see the cables and the position of the balcony in relation to the cables. You can kind of geolocate everything around it. So I'm 100% sure those are genuine pictures.
How did you get the idea for your Bellingcat work?
Bellingcat really started because I'd been blogging about Syria for a long time using geolocation, and there was a lot of people who were also writing interesting things in that field, but they weren't really getting the same attention as me. And also there was a lot of, I wanted to teach people how to do it, so I started Bellingcat first to allow people to publish on one site where they could get more recognition and also help other people learn. But then, just a few days after we launched Bellingcat, MH17 was shot down, and people sent me photographs and videos and said, "Can you help us out with this and show us? Can you tell us where these were filmed using the skills you picked up in Syria?" And that's where it started for me. And what we found with MH17 was there was such a wealth of information to be sort of dug up about it that I started it myself, and then I had people join me as volunteers and just kept going and going.
Just one moment, I want to ask another question too. I'm just checking whether this is okay. What I also would like to know, it takes a lot of time and a lot of efforts. Who is paying for this?
When we started Bellingcat, we did a Kickstarter campaign that raised about £50,000. The thing with Bellingcat is cheap to run because it's just me who's the only paid person, so I can
at home.
Yeah, so I can. Well, I have an office now. Just I've got young children, so I have to escape the house to actually get any work done. So it's a small office, my laptop, and volunteers. I want to get more funding from grant-giving organisations to hire staff and make it a bigger thing. But we get pretty far and no money at the moment. And I think part of what I want to do is show people that you can do that. You don't need a huge sum of money to do this. You don't need to be the CIA to, do this kind of thing, because, the tools out there are free and available to anyone, and that's what I try and encourage people to do.
You told me yesterday something very interesting, that intelligence services of the Western world don't do this kind of work.
I don't think they do.
Did I understand you correctly?
Yeah, well, the work we do is very in-depth, proactive investigations into, really digging through every scrap of information we can find manually, and it's a lot of detective work. And I always get the impression that it's not being really done widely. And it's even the Dutch police looking into MH17. I've given them lots of information. It's new for them as well. So it's interesting because journalists and activists, in a way, they have an advantage if they start doing this now, because governments, generally don't know a thing about this, and even the intelligence agencies this is a new thing for them. So when a government makes a claim, this satellite imagery shows this, you can go to Google Earth and check the satellite imagery yourself now. And I think that's a very powerful tool for people to use.
Did intelligence services contact you to work with you?
No, not directly, no.
Not?
Indirectly, I wouldn't know anyway.
But do you think it could be a new challenge for the work to investigate crimes which are happening?
I think there's
as a prevention also?
Well, there's a lot of questions about privacy and what the police are allowed to do, because in many countries, current police powers would prevent you doing the work we're doing, because you would need a reason to look at someone's social media profile, which we just kind of just search every scrap of information we can manually. So I think there are serious questions coming, for the police, for example, about how can they use this new information. Does legislation need to be changed to allow them to do it? Should they even be allowed to do it in the first place? I think there needs to be a discussion about that. But in a way, we can't have that discussion until there's the awareness of it being a thing that can be done, which there still is a very low amount of awareness of this kind of work.
Thanks, Eliot, and all the best for your work.
Thank you. Great. Right, I'm going to have to run off now and leave you. So, send me those emails and I'll definitely help out. It's something I'm very interested in.